Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Ready to level up your Business Central skills?
Always.
Awesome. Today we're diving deep into a core concept, queries.
Yes.
We've got some YouTube tutorial content to help us decode it all.
Yeah.
And really reveal why mastering queries is like unlocking a secret weapon within the software.
It's true. Queries are foundational. And based on this tutorial, it seems like you're aiming to become a technical consultant for Business Central.
That's right.
And let me tell you, understanding queries is going to be essential for that role.
Okay, so the instructor in this tutorial, he calls queries questions that you ask the system.
Right.
So it sounds simple enough, but how does that actually translate to working with Business Central?
Well, imagine trying to glean insights from a massive spreadsheet, hundreds of columns, thousands of rows.
Yeah.
How do you find the data you need without getting lost?
Right.
That's where queries come in. They act like a filter, allowing you to pinpoint specific information without having to wade through everything else.
So it's not just about finding the data, it's about finding it efficiently.
Exactly, yeah.
The tutorial mentions this idea of queries making the system run more efficiently too.
Yes.
Can you elaborate on that a bit?
Absolutely. So by targeting only the data you need, queries help Business Central, run smoothly. It's like using a GPS to navigate a city instead of aimlessly driving around.
Right. Yeah.
You arrive at your destination faster and you conserve fuel along the way.
I like that analogy.
Queries do the same for your data analysis. They get you to the insights you need without wasting system resources.
Okay, this is already making me rethink how I approach data in Business Central.
Yeah.
But I have to admit, when the tutorial dives into the code, it looks a bit intimidating.
I understand, but the code itself is more logical than it appears at first glance. Think of it like constructing a sentence. You have your subject, the data you want, your verb, the action you want to perform, and your object, the source of the data. Okay,
so I could say something like, show me all customers in California with overdue balances.
Right.
And that would essentially be like the foundation of a query.
That's a fantastic example. You're already starting to think in query language.
Okay.
You're identifying the data you need, customer information, the condition, those located in California with overdue balances.
Right.
And implicitly the source, the customer table.
Okay, that's making more sense. Now the tutorial also mentions a tool called the AZ Wizard that seems to create queries almost magically.
Yeah.
How does that work? And is it really as simple as it sounds?
The AZ Wizard is a phenomenal tool for building queries quickly, especially for beginners. It's like having a sous chef who preps all your ingredients before you start cooking.
Yeah.
The wizard generates a basic framework for your query based on the selections you make, but remember, you'll still need to understand the recipe,
right?
The underlying logic to customize it to your specific needs.
So it's a great starting point, but not a complete replacement for understanding the nuts and bolts of query creation.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's interesting that you use the analogy of a sous chef prepping ingredients, because the tutorial also talks about query properties, which sound like additional instructions you can add to kind of fine tune the results.
Precisely.
Okay.
Query properties are like adding spices to your dish.
Okay.
They allow you to control things like the sorting of your data, the number of results displayed, or even how the data is visualized, whether you want to see it in a table or a chart, or have it ready to be accessed by another application through an API.
Wow, but that level of control sounds amazing. The tutorial actually walks through creating a list of customers query as an example. Yeah. Can you break that down for us? What makes this particular query so useful?
This example perfectly illustrates how queries can streamline your workflows in Business Central. Imagine you need to regularly access a list of customers with specific details like their contact information, balance, and purchase history. Mm-hmm. Instead of manually compiling this information every time, you can create a list of customers query that automatically pulls these details from the customer table and displays them in a user-friendly format.
And the tutorial shows how with the right property settings, you can even make this custom list of customers query an option within the main customer list page in Business Central.
Right.
That's like having a shortcut to the exact information you need right when you need it.
That's the power of queries in action.
Yeah.
They not only extract data, but also help you present it in a way that's meaningful and actionable. And what we've discussed so far is just the tip of the iceberg. The tutorial hints at even more powerful capabilities, like using joins to combine data from multiple tables.
Joins, okay. Could you give us a concrete example of how that might work in a real business scenario?
Absolutely. Let's say you want to analyze sales performance by region.
Okay.
You have customer data in one table and sales data in another. Mm-hmm. By using a join, you can link these tables together based on a common field, such as customer ID or region.
Right.
This allows you to create a query that shows you not only the sales figures, but also, which customers and regions are driving those numbers.
So instead of having to analyze these tables separately and try to manually connect the dots, a join lets you bring all the relevant data together in one query.
Exactly.
That's incredibly powerful.
It's like assembling a puzzle where each table represents a different piece.
Okay.
By joining them correctly, you get a complete picture of your business operations.
The tutorial also briefly mentions aggregate functions.
Yes.
What are those, and how do they add to the power of queries?
Aggregate functions allow you to perform calculations on your data within the query itself.
Right.
For instance, you can calculate the average sale amount, the total number of customers, or the maximum value of an order.
So instead of just retrieving raw data, I could use a query to calculate key metrics directly.
Right.
Could you give us a practical example of how this might be applied?
Certainly. Imagine you want to identify your top performing customer segments.
Okay.
You could use a query to not only filter customers based on their segment, but also calculate the average purchase amount for each segment using an aggregate function.
Okay.
This gives you immediate insights into which segments are most valuable to your business.
That's amazing. It's like having a built-in data analyst in Business Central. You can go from raw data to actionable insights in a single query.
Precisely. And once you create these queries, they can be saved, reused, and even shared with your team.
Right.
This saves everyone time and ensures consistency in reporting and analysis.
The tutorial emphasizes the importance of planning before writing a query. Mm-hmm. Why is that step so crucial, and what should be considered during the planning phase?
Planning is absolutely essential. It's like setting out on a journey without a map. You need to have a clear destination in mind.
Right.
Before you start writing your query, ask yourself, what specific question am I trying to answer? What data points do I need to include, and how will I use the results?
So it's not just about knowing what data you want, but also understanding why you need it and how it'll be applied. This ensures that your query is focused and delivers meaningful results.
Exactly. A well-planned query will save you from drowning in irrelevant data,
right.
or conversely, having a query that's too narrow and misses crucial information.
It's about finding that sweet spot, the balance between precision and scope.
You got it. And like any skill, mastering queries takes practice.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be afraid to experiment, test different approaches, and refine your queries as you gain more experience.
Now, we've talked quite a bit about the AZ wizard.
Right.
The tutorial shows how it can create a query in minutes, which is incredibly impressive.
Yeah.
But how much reliance should someone place on the wizard versus learning to write custom query code?
The AZ Wizard is a fantastic tool, especially for those new to queries. It provides a solid foundation and helps you grasp the basic structure. Mm. However, relying solely on the wizard can be limiting. Mm-hmm. To truly unlock the full power and flexibility of queries, you need to understand the underlying code and logic.
So it's similar to using a template for a document.
Right.
It gives you a starting point, but you'll need to customize it to fit your your specific needs.
That's a great analogy. The wizard is your template, but your knowledge and understanding are what turn that template into a powerful, customized tool.
The tutorial also highlights the importance of using clear and descriptive names for your queries. Why is this considered best practice?
Imagine searching for a specific file on your computer months after you saved it.
Yeah.
If you didn't give it a meaningful name, you'd be sifting through a chaotic mess.
Right.
The same applies to queries.
Okay.
Clear descriptive names make it easy to find and understand the purpose of each query, even months or years later.
So instead of generic names like query 1 or customer data, it's better to use something specific like top performing customers by region or products with low inventory levels.
Exactly. A well-named query is self-documenting. It tells you at a glance what it does and what information it provides.
And speaking of documentation, the tutorial also suggests documenting your queries.
Yes.
What type of information should be included in this documentation?
Think of it like writing a brief instruction manual for your query.
Yeah. Include
a concise description of its purpose, the logic behind its structure, and any specific filters or calculations used.
Okay.
This documentation will be invaluable for anyone who needs to understand or modify the query in the future, including yourself.
It's like leaving breadcrumbs for anyone who might need to follow your path.
Right.
This helps ensure that your queries remain usable and maintainable over time.
Precisely. A well-organized system of queries with clear names and thorough documentation is essential for efficiency, collaboration, and long-term maintainability.
Now, this is where it gets really interesting. The tutorial mentions that queries can be used to expose data through an API.
Yes.
Could you explain what that means and why it's so significant?
This is a powerful capability that opens up a whole new world of possibilities. By configuring specific properties within your query, you can make its results accessible to external applications through an API.
So it's like creating a bridge between Business Central and other systems.
Exactly.
Could you give us an example of how this might be used in practice?
Certainly. Imagine you have a separate reporting tool that you use for data visualization and analysis.
Okay.
By exposing your Business Central data through an API, you can pull the results of your queries directly into that reporting tool, eliminating the need for manual data exports and imports.
That's incredible. It creates seamless integration between different platforms.
Right.
So we've gone from retrieving data within Business Central to connecting with external systems and automating workflows.
And then that's the beauty of queries. They start with a simple concept, asking questions of your data.
Right.
But they offer incredible flexibility and power as you delve deeper.
Wow, this has been a real eye-opener for me. I always knew queries were important in Business Central, but I never realized just how versatile and powerful they could be.
It's like discovering a hidden superpower.
Yeah.
Within a tool you thought you already knew well.
Exactly, yeah. I used to think of queries as just a way to find specific data, but now I see them as a way to analyze trends, uncover hidden patterns, and even automate complex tasks.
And that's just the beginning. As you get more comfortable with queries, you can start exploring even more advanced techniques, like using temporary tables.
Oh, wow.
Creating complex filters with regular expressions, and even incorporating machine learning algorithms to extract deeper insights from your data.
Wow, that sounds like a whole other level of query mastery.
Yeah.
The tutorial ends with a challenge encouraging us to think about how we can use queries to improve our own work with Business Central. Yeah. I have to say, my mind is already buzzing with possibilities.
That's fantastic. It's all about applying what you've learned and finding creative solutions to real world problems.
I think the biggest takeaway for me is that queries are not just for technical experts. Anyone who uses Business Central, regardless of their role, can benefit from understanding the fundamentals of query creation.
Absolutely. Whether you're a sales manager, a financial analyst, or an inventory specialist, queries can help you work smarter, not harder.
So for our listener who's ready to take the plunge into the world of Business Central queries, what's the best way to get started?
The tutorial you shared is an excellent starting point.
Okay.
Experiment with the examples provided, then try creating your own queries based on the specific needs of your role. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. That's how you learn and grow.
And remember, the Business Central community is vast and supportive.
Yes.
There are countless resources available online, including forums, blogs, and video tutorials to help you along your journey.
It's like joining a club of data explorers, all eager to share their knowledge and discoveries.
Well, this deep dive has certainly equipped us with the knowledge and inspiration to start exploring. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise with us today.
It's been my pleasure. Remember, the world of Business Central queries is your oyster. And as you embark on your query building adventures, here's a final thought to consider. What seemingly impossible task or analysis could you now achieve with the newfound power of queries? Keep experimenting, keep learning, and who knows what hidden gems you'll uncover within your Business Central data.